Good morning. I just kind of want to make a video this morning because there was some stuff that I was thinking about yesterday that I wanted to touch on. And it's kind of relating to the video I made last night about relationships. So, coming into who you are as a person on a spiritual journey can be very difficult at times. So, especially when dealing with family. I come from a big family, and my entire life, I will say I'm very guilty of victimizing myself. I had always felt separate and different from my family, and that in essence, kept me away from them and kept me not wanting to be around them. So tie that in where I'm an adult currently, and my third eye has opened, and I'm starting to experience things from a whole different perception and a mindset. So I noticed that when I get around my family, I'm always the quirky one, I guess, and I'm weird, but it comes to a point where you kind of feel like you have to be defensive more or less around them. So, for example, I was having a conversation with my mom at the table yesterday, and I feel like she always tells me I'm coming from a judgmental place because of my awareness and where I am now. And that more or less, she didn't say this directly, but that it comes off as arrogance. And I think that can be a difficult thing because you are finally opening up your mind to the perception that things are not always as they seem, and that bothers people. And that tied in with the fact that I am an empath, so I always feel other people's emotions can be very difficult. Like, they may not say it and they may deny it, but you can feel the emotions and the tensions rise when you start to point shit out. I love my family, I love my mother, I love my brothers, and I love my sisters, but I will admit it can be very, very difficult to talk to them at times, and I'm sure people who are also going on a spiritual path or an ascended journey of some sort, feel very separated, and that can be difficult, especially coming from a big family, and you always want to feel connected to them in some sort of way. And, being that in the past I have tended to victimize myself very much, yesterday it kind of felt like that a little bit, and I had to become aware of that, not to victimize myself. It can kind of feel like, oh, look at her getting sensitive, look at her doing this, Taylor, you're so sensitive. Like, yes, I am a very sensitive person. That comes with my perception and my heightened awareness and my intelligence. That all makes me highly perceptive to how other people react to things and how I receive information. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that at all. But I do not come from a place of arrogance, when I tell someone how I feel about something. I just notice things. And that defensiveness, the first conclusion you jump to is, you're judging everyone. No, I'm not judging everyone. That's the thing. I'm coming to a point now where I know not to judge anyone. And I said this to her yesterday, it's about perfect balance. I accept that not everyone is on this path, but you know what? We're all going to end up on the same path. And I don't know how much space I have on my phone, so I'm going to just say this too. You cannot tell a black mother about Jesus. She was saying something along the lines of she went to church and felt so good because, Jesus Christ is the only way. And that's fine, and that's cool. I'm not even going to touch Christianity right now. That's too much. I never said I didn't believe in Jesus. I was raised in the church, but at this point I've opened and expanded my awareness to where I know Jesus was one of the ascended masters, and he was just another teacher teaching unconditional love. And then, they jump in with the question, why does everything got to be so woke? Why? I don't like that. Like, it's not about being woke. It's about being open. It's about being accepting, because all that ties back into unconditional love. When you are accepting of all possibilities in this universe, you no longer create those walls of separation and illusion. The ones that I created for myself, for my family, I separated myself from them because I had one way of thinking and they had one way. And when those ways clash, it can cause a big mess and it can cause emotional turmoil. And I had to realize that there is perfect balance in families. You may not see it because everybody has different personalities and they get along differently. But on a spiritual journey, you should never feel like you're coming from arrogance, unless you are coming from arrogance. Be accepting of all the dynamics, because we're all going to end up on the same path anyway, a path of ascension, a path of love, and a path of light, and everyone may not get to where you are at the same time. And that's okay. And I accept that. And I love them anyway. And that doesn't mean that I'm smarter, more intelligent. They're all aware of these things. It's just whether what you're choosing to allow into your life or not. And I'm sorry, somebody's mowing the lawn outside. You know, you choose what you allow into your life. And when they choose to be more accepting of things, then you'll start to find more and more similarities rather than the differences that keep you apart. So, I don't know. It can be a difficult path. You know, I choose not to play a role of victimization anymore, you know, of feeling I'm alone, because I know I've connected with so many others on my path who are very like-minded. Yeah, it can be very difficult to deal with, but at the same at the same time, it can be beautiful, because, you know, you're on this new journey for yourself, and even though you can't bring everyone you love with you at the same time, you know, you're opened up to new explorations and new ways of life and new ways of thinking. And if you ever feel separated, remember that you're still connected. If you feel that everyone's jumping on you, just realize that you're transcending to a place where no one can jump on you anymore. You're so high up. You are so filled with love and light and abundance and understanding of the universe that even when people seem to be at a lower vibration, and that does not mean that they are bad people or that you cannot love them, but even when people are on a lower vibration, you vibe so high that nothing else can touch you. So, if my family is watching this, or if they do watch it, I love you guys. I know I'm like the hippie, the weirdo, the black sheep, but love is love. Love is open, love is unconditional. Love comes without boundaries. And even though we may have something to separate ourselves from each other, you know, we're all going to end up in the same place anyway, whether that be through Jesus Christ, through Allah, through whatever it is you believe in. So I hope if anyone is going through personal issues with their family, or, you know, they just feel separate, or have always felt separate in general, no matter what separates you, you're always connected. So that's all I wanted to say today. Hope everybody has a great day. Peace.